Yeah, sure. So Mum and I joined together 10 years ago. So this is our 10th year with Wires.
During the course of this shutdown, obviously, that we've just come out of, how did that affect the process for you?
It was still pretty good. So any wires rescue that we need to do is considered an emergency. So there was no issue with us going out and doing our rescues. I guess if anything needed to go to the vet, that was then tricky because a lot of the vets were doing contactless. So you couldn't actually go inside the vet. If you were to try to give them your basket, we would need to transfer everything over to their stuff that they had to make sure was nice and disinfected and clean and safe for them to touch. And then it was sometimes hard telling the vets what had happened, and then when you were picking stuff up from them, it was hard getting a history because it would always be like a second person that was relaying everything to you.
It's not so easy to do.
No, but they were very helpful. Everybody was doing their best, and they still took all the wildlife. They would still see us regardless. It was just a little bit more of a process.
And so that went on for 5 months. In winter, I'm guessing it's probably better that it was happening in winter because there wasn't so many joeys and so on.
Yeah, it was better, but I think because people were home and because people were only allowed to sort of do their bushwalks, they were actually seeing so much more.
Yeah.
So I think the amount of rescues that we had to do was actually larger than we usually would have to, which is great. It's so great that people are finding these animals and then we can help them appropriately, but it does mean that there's a much larger volume in care and then spending much more time doing rescues.
And I suppose
So I guess they need feeding like every 3 hours, but I guess they're easier as in the sense that you don't need to be giving triage that often.
yeah.
I think adults usually need more like hospital treatment.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few hospital cages, which are just like smaller cages with not as many branches because you want them to stay as quiet as possible. So adults that come in, they're usually sick or injured, so they'll require more hospital treatment. So they'll need fluids, so subcut fluids under the skin. They'll need injectable antibiotics. They'll need pain relief. They'll sometimes need these like a few times a day. Wound dressings, burn dressings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I remember the last time I was here, you had a little joey, a ringtail, that was bright orange and drinking 20% of its body weight in milk. It would. Now, I had to think I might put a little bit of weight on myself if I was drinking 20% of my body weight.
Once you get them drinking and once you get them going, they are usually very, very happy just to drink and lap for you. So there's not much effort required. You just put the little container in front of their mouth and they'll just lap away.